wanted to do the Quarry 5 miler race director recap. I always like to do these after race directing a race, just to give some of my thoughts, observations, and already start spitballing some things that I have planned for next year. First off, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I really enjoyed putting on this race for everybody, and as I always say, that I'm putting on this race for runners and putting on a race that I myself would want to participate in and be happy to participate in year after year. The goals that I have are give you a safe race experience, actually give you a race, give you a race experience that you can remember, get your money's worth out of the race, and have fun. And again, like when I say experience, I want you to go home and be like, wow, I had fun running the race. I really enjoyed how he had things set up, how things ran. And you have like pictures and memories to come home to and share with your friends and family. Because ultimately, if you don't have fun or have a good experience, you're not going to come back. You're not going to tell your friends to come, in future years. But I also want you to come have a good time, because that's why I do this. Because I want you to have a good time. I want you to come back year after year, and I want to see the enjoyment in people's faces and eyes, and like their Facebook posts or Instagram posts, saying how they really enjoyed it, because it makes the time that I put in to, getting everything set up and putting on the race worth it. And again, I have high expectations when I go to a race. What do I expect? So I try to pass those expectations on to races that I direct, because I know things can go sideways sometimes in different races, and so I try to eliminate that, have things run smoothly. Sometimes my races don't. I'll get to some of the things that I didn't think ran smoothly this year, but I just want people to have a good time. And since I race all the time and I enjoy racing, I want people to feel the enjoyment that I have when I race. So again, that's why I want you to come and race, but also have that race experience. So this year, I had the 11 animatronics or noise-making Halloween decorations along the trail spaced out. I tried to keep them closer to the trail and off the middle, and so people could actually see them. Like I put them in spots like maybe on the bridge or the 1 mile marker, so people could actually see them, enjoy them, and activate them if they are like a little animatronic one. Hopefully everybody at least kicked a few off, or seen a few of them, because I just find that a little bit fun just to run past stuff. Maybe if you didn't see it, you get startled a little bit, but who knows. My buddies John and Leah lit up the Quarry shack and dealt with the bridge and did the aid station. I saw some pictures and clips of that. They did a hell of a good job this year, as they always do. And then I had them set up the 3 triangles at the turnaround, and that big inflatable that I bought. The reason why I went with the triangles is because if you ever seen them along the road, if you hit them with a light at all at night, it's almost like sun shining or whatever. So that's why I wanted to use those, so people knew that's where the turnaround was ahead of them, and they knew to go around like the 3. It was like a good way to mark it out, I guess is the way to say it. And then I had that 7-foot wide inflatable, that pumpkin looking thing with its arms out, to block the trail so people didn't go around that, and they knew the turnaround was actually there, even though I had a sign right beside it says turnaround here along the trail with reflective lettering that you can't miss if you hit it with a light at all. You could see those like 100 yards away, like the mile markers and stuff. Once you hit them with a light, like you could see the reflectiveness, like I'm telling you, 100 yards away at least. As long as the light hits that reflectiveness, you can see something glowing up ahead. That's why I like using those, especially at night. So that's why I did that. It seemed to go over pretty well. People like that inflatable pumpkin uh, at the end. I used that clown by the bridge, just give people jumping a little bit as as they come into the aid station. Um, Other than that, I think the shack was lit up pretty good from what I've seen. Um, Registration seemed to go smooth with Barb and Vanessa and my aunt. They always do a good job doing that. I had my dad and Pat um, help me set up a little bit with the inflatables, um, even though they took a little bit longer to inflate than I was hoping for. But it happens, they're new. Uh, People seem to enjoy the socks, even though I probably won't do the socks again next year because they're just super expensive, and these actually weren't made in America like they were supposed to be. They're actually made in Foshan, China. So I was very disappointed in that because I ordered them from an American company that was supposed to be made in America. That's a whole different story. So I'm very disappointed with that unless I find a better sock maker that's more local. If not, I'd rather go back to shirts or another form of swag from a local screen printer, give them more business. That way I can do it like within a, half an hour of my house, instead of worrying about shipping from China or some company that says they're based in the U.S. So we'll see. Was this a little disappointed in the awards this year? They were a little bit smaller, like the age groups that I was hoping for. I got them from the same guy this would be the fourth year I got it from the same guy. And I said, hey, I want the same size as last year. And this is, I was like, hey, this is the size that I ordered last year. And then when they got here, they were a little bit smaller, like an inch smaller. So I don't know if he cut them wrong or if it was just the design this year. But they were definitely a little smaller, so I'm going to get them bigger again next year. You're going to work on that. People like the stickers. I did use the inflatables again at the start and finish line. It was kind of comical as people were coming in. The one with the hand that was sort of like 6 inches over the start and finish line, but people kept running into it, and I just kept laughing because I don't know if they just weren't paying attention or what. But it was just one of those little weird things that I caught. What else? So those inflatables worked. Next year I might buy a big arch. I might have my arch by then. Whether that's just like the Only Athletics arch, or I might have like a big Halloween one. I was kind of torn on doing a Halloween one because the Halloween ones really don't give you a big gap in the middle. So I have to find a really big one to use for that. This year I bought some, Five Below has some self-containing inflatables, like an inner tube type deal, inflatable where you just blow air in and plug it instead of like the blowers, like your normal yard inflatables. I did buy a bunch of them as I took pictures of, and you saw. They took way longer to inflate and set up than I was hoping for, but the reason why I bought them is because like the arches and stuff, I thought it would be easier to store, and they're more waterproof, so if it like rained or whatever, got windy, I thought those would hold up more than the lower type inflatables. So we'll see. People did enjoy them. It gave people options, gave people 3 different options to take pictures under, because I had light shining on each arch, so that worked out pretty well. Then I had that black cat and the orange pumpkin, the start and finish line. I saw some people taking pictures of those. But the only down part is I wanted to put some of those on the trail because I got a ghost that I didn't even use. The downfall is you really can't put them on the course because to transport them out there would be a pain in the ass because you'd almost have a truck bed unless you blew them up as you sat them down. Otherwise, I didn't think about that beforehand. It's not really feasible to transport them like I do for the animatronics, because they just take up too much space. Um, so that's why next year I'm already planning on using the blower inflatables, because you know what I mean. They're compact like this, and then they grow up at like 10, 15 feet, so they don't take up as much space as those self-contained inflatables do. So I'll keep those at the start and finish line areas. Um, Other than that, I did try to have a little variety of food this year. Um, I didn't go overboard like I did previous years because I ended up taking like half the food home. So I did cut back on that a little bit. So um, that's why there was a little bit less of that this year, but there was still plenty left over. I told people to grab it, so I didn't have to eat it. Um, Other than that, yeah, all the volunteers had a good time. They enjoy setting up, helping out at the race. So they thank you guys for coming. Um, Parking was better this year just because we had more parking because of the new sewage slash acid mine drainage that they put in. Um, I look for it to be next year cut back again because the parking that we use this year, that newer parking, I'm expecting there to be gates and fencing put up so people don't go near the sewage. But we'll see when the time comes if that actually happens. But it was nice because then everybody could park closer to the trail instead of like along the road. Um, the trail was in good shape. The weather was in good shape. I'm very thankful for that. Um, the one thing I didn't use was the 10 by 20 canopy that I bought a couple weeks ago. Um, I bought it because it has like the 6 walls to use, and I figured with the weather we really didn't need to set it up. I try to take as less junk possible, and keep take as much fun stuff as possible, but like I don't need to take like 4 or 5 canopies per se when the weather's nice. So that's why I didn't take that, but it's available for future years. Really, the only thing, well, again, every year I try to evolve the race, give people a better race experience every year, and buy some new decorations every year. Um, maybe switch the stickers up in the awards and swag, just to keep it fresh a little bit. Um, but I know next year already, I'm hoping to make the awards bigger, and I'm planning on getting, roughly 6 to 8 inflatables, like the blower kind that you have in your yard. Um, I just have to buy battery packs for them, and they're steep. Um, so that way I can maybe cut back on the animatronic stuff and just use uh, the inflatables themselves, and it would give you more of a standalone, um, greater presence than say some smaller decorations would. So if I only put like 6 or 8 inflatables out on the course, um, their presence will be so much better than say 2 dozen animatronics, like small animatronics on the course. And that's why I think the first year I had like 50, 60 different decorations. They were small decorations on the trail. I thought that would be cool to have more decorations on the trail, but being small, you couldn't really see them. So that's why each year I switched to like more animatronics and more like light up type things. And I think the way to go now is the big inflatable, so people actually see them from a distance. Um, and their presence is like like a more towering presence than just some little, you know, beach ball, or I don't know, whatever the sizes they are, um, 2 foot tall animatronic type things. I think those bigger inflatables will have a bigger impact, um, and give you a better race experience in general. So that's the 2 big things: the awards and the inflatables next year. Um, is really what I'm looking forward to changing. The lightings was good. Um, Maybe registration setup I might change a little bit more and use that 10 by 20, um, just to set up more of like a spread type deal. Um, just have people to shelter from like wind or whatever, because it did drop down like 10 degrees from the start to the finish, because you started at 6:30. It's still a little bit light. Then once that darkness, the temperature did drop like 10 degrees. So with that canopy, at least people would be blocked from the wind a little bit, so that might help. So we'll see. Other than that, again, thank everybody for coming. I really do enjoy putting on this race and the other couple races that I do. So um, please come back. Please tell your friends. Would really like to grow this race to a couple hundred people, um, because the more people there, that means the more people have a good evening, and I'm able to give people a good race experience and value for their money, and that's what I'm trying to do. Over some races that they're just like, here, give me money, go out and run. Um, I want to give you that race experience. I give you a safe, fun race as well, um, and lasting memories. So, um, other than that, any questions, comments, concerns, things you'd like to see changed, let me know. Um, this was just my little spitball wrap up. So yeah, let me know.